Deputy President in charge of the Northern Uganda, Kalina Zebika Waru. You can see she was injured yesterday. She's still putting on a bandage. Her foot was injured. The Honorable John Mugisha, our Deputy President in charge of region.
NUP!
Everywhere. And finally, our Deputy President in charge of Eastern Region, the Honorable Nambeshe John Baptist.
People power. Our power. Our power. People power.
I also want to recognize other leaders who are with us today, starting from the other side, the Honorable Nabila Nagai Sempala, the Honorable Francis Zake. I don't want to bother him with standing up because it's commission.
People power.
Our power. And of course, the Honorable Betty Namboze Bachileke is with us. She's raising her, what is sometimes they call the badge of honor because of the challenges we've all encountered under this leadership. Comrade Nyegoderi, well, you have no excuse but to stand up and
People power.
I see there are so many other leaders. I don't want to go into introducing all of them, but you're all welcome to this press conference. Now, first and foremost, we are all delighted as the National Unity Platform and as the People Power Movement, because today as we speak, we have a presidential candidate. Those of you who have been involved in this struggle know how far we have fought to be able to be on this ballot. Today we are on the ballot as we speak. There have been many wars, there have been many attempts to frustrate our attempt to be on the ballot. Arua was tried and it failed. They brought people to claim that our candidate did not have academic credentials and that failed. There was an attempt to bring all sorts of cases against him, trumped up charges. They all failed. We went on to see when we launched the NUP, there was an attempt to fight NUP through the court process, and that also failed. So there have been numerous attempts. They came here and stole our signatures, and that also failed. So to see that finally we have a presidential candidate and the Honorable Chagulanyi is going to be on the ballot, for me, gives me comfort and gives me assurance that we will not only stop at being on the ballot, but eventually we'll be in State House. Because if you see, those of you who read the Bible, remember very well that when David faced Goliath, even before that, when he was interacting with King, he told him that the God who saved me from the lion and the bear will save me from this man. What that means is that the Lord who has saved us from all these attempts will certainly save us from the biggest fight that we are yet to experience, and that is the 2021 election, where we know that we will emerge victorious. Secondly, we want to condemn in the very, very strongest terms possible the manner in which the security forces conducted themselves yesterday. The police and the military. We all saw that on Monday when President Museveni was being nominated, police gave security to all his people. The few people who assembled, because there are not many, to show him support, were not tear gassed, instead they were protected by the police. I think they wanted more people to come out, but unfortunately they could not. And we came here and warned them and told them that we expected them to treat us in the same. So yesterday when thousands of people came out to wave at our candidate and to celebrate his victory upon being nominated, hell broke loose. And then we saw all sorts of things being done to our people. So many people were arrested, were brutalized. Our presidential candidate, the Honorable Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert, was dehumanized right in front of the nomination venue. He was plucked out of his vehicle. I was seated in that vehicle with him and other comrades. They used the wheel spanner to break his windscreen, one of the glasses of the car, and plucked him out like a chicken thief. We are talking about a presidential candidate. We are talking about a member of parliament. It's very unfortunate that the security forces could conduct themselves in such a manner. Our promise as NUP is that when we take over power, which we shall, Ugandans will never be treated in such a dehumanizing manner. Those who will be opposed to us, because there will be an opposition at any one time, will never have to go through that kind of indignity. We will make sure that we respect the rights of all people, because all human beings are created equal and are equal in dignity and rights. So we want to condemn that in the strongest terms possible and to put the Electoral Commission on the spot. How could they allow that to happen? And up to now they've not said anything about it right from their ground. It is at that point that I want to announce that the Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has asked me to communicate that he is not accepting the security which was given to him yesterday. Because that is not security. All these things were done to him in the presence of those people. They could not protect him. But in fact, some of them participated in torturing him, in brutalizing him. Those people are rejected, and they should not expect cooperation from him, because they are not there to protect him, but they are there to humiliate him, to dehumanize him, to torture him, and to cause him other problems. It is therefore not security for him, it is torture and intimidation for him and his family. Yesterday, these people were so shameless. They tear gassed his compound, tear gassed his children in a very, very unfortunate manner. So the third thing I want to communicate before other leaders come is that yesterday we were supposed to come here. Those of you who came here found this place organized and ready for the launch of our manifesto. Our intention was to launch our manifesto, which is titled A New Uganda, because as we have said, that is the catchphrase for our manifesto. We are talking about a new Uganda where all Ugandans are equal and where there is equal opportunity. Now that the police frustrated us, we have not given up, because we must launch our manifesto, just like President Museveni and his people went to Munyonyo and launched their manifesto, just like other candidates have been able to launch their manifestos. We also as NUP want to be able to launch our manifesto, and may I now announce to you all that on Friday this week, we will be announcing our manifesto. We will be launching our manifesto. The launch of our manifesto will not take place here after the frustration, but it is going to take place in Mbarara town, in western Uganda. As you all know, we have a regional office in Mbarara, and that is where we will go to launch our manifesto, officially open our office, and move ahead to launch our manifesto on Friday this week. Finally, countrymen and women, we thank you for the massive support you showed us yesterday. Never in the history of this country has it ever been that a presidential candidate is nominated and celebrations erupt in all towns in Uganda. It has not happened before. Those who have been observing the politics of this country know that so well. We saw celebrations in Busia, celebrations in Barara, celebrations in Iganga, in Masaka, in Arua, in Jinja, in Mpigi, in Gomba, in Mbale, here in Kampala, in Wakiso, in Soroti, in Kasese, Hoima, Moroto, Mityana, Gulu, and many other places in this country where people gathered to celebrate the victory, to celebrate the nomination of our candidate.
People power. Our power. Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
When we started this movement, they said that we are a Central Uganda affair. They first called us hooligans. That did not work. They called us thugs. It did not work. Then they said, no, these are excited young people. It did not work. See the leaders who are here in NUP, respectable leaders of integrity. Then they said, no, these guys are just in Kampala. But whoever saw what happened yesterday across the country, that a person is nominated and the victory is reverberated across the country, is testament that NUP is indeed everywhere, in all corners, of this country. Finally, as I already said, many of our people were injured and they are in different hospitals across the country. Our president himself was injured, as you all know, and the deputy president in charge of North, our spokesperson, I already mentioned that, Comrade Shamim Edimutwe, in Masaka, Dr. Wanika, Honorable Namayanja, and others were injured. And they are in different places. We thank them for their sacrifice, but in the strongest terms possible condemn those who attacked them and caused them those problems. I thank you all. I don't know if I can quickly summarize this in Uganda, just maybe 5 minutes only. And then the other leaders, I will beg that maybe we use one language, I don't know, whichever is better for you. You know, my Uganda is not the best, but I will try now that Joe is not here to talk about these issues. Ekisooka twagala kwebaza bannayuganda bonna abatulaze obuwagizi obw'enjawulo nga omukulembeze waffe Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu agenda okwewandiisa. Kaakati we twogerera tulina presidential candidate era bonna ababadde bagoberera olugendo lwaffe nga NUP ne People Power mukimanyi tekibadde kyangu. Gavumenti ekozesezza buli kimu kyonna ereese obubadde obw'enjawulo okutulemesa okubeera ku ballot. Naye kati we twogerera zaabika emipiira Honorable Kyagulanyi ali ku ballot. Kitegeera we twogerera ali ku ballot era kati olaba patidde nnyo. Era nze bwe nalabye ebibaddewo jjo ne ngamba bano abasajja bamulinda nga balowooza bagenda mulemesa mu buli ngeri ne balabira ddala nti tebakyasobola ne basalawo okozesa eryanyi lye tulabye olunaku lwa jjo. N'olwekyo twagala kuvumirira yenna enneeyisa y'abapoliisi n'abamagye olunaku lwa jjo. Tosobola kukwata presidential candidate naye nga si presidential candidate kyokka nga mubaka wa parliament n'omujja mu motoka ye mu ngeri emenya amateeka ennyo, mu ngeri eswaza, n'omenya eddinisa y'emmotoka ye n'omujjamu ne bamukuba wansi ne bamutuusako obuvune bwonna ne bamunyiga mu kamotoka kaabwe bwe batambulidde nga bamuvuma bo bamubulira ebintu mu ngeri esoomooza. Ekyo twagala kikivumirira era ffe nga NUP ne People Power twagala kutegeeza eggwanga nti bwe tumala okutwala obuyinza teri munnayuganda agenda kuddamu kuyisibwa mu ngeri bwetyo. Teri munnabyabufuzi newakubadde naawe abagenda kuwakanya gavumenti yaffe, kubanga era mu buli ggwanga mu buli gavumenti mubeerayo abaje opposinga. Ne bwe tuba ne opposition ffe aba NUP tetugenda kugiyisa bwe kityo kubanga tumanyi nti buli muntu alina eddembe ery'obwebange era tugenda kulaba nti buli munnayuganda yenyumiriza nsi ye. Ensonga ey'okubiri, omukulembeze wa NUP People Power Honorable Kyagulanyi yansabye okutegeeza eggwanga nti abo abantu be bamuwadde nga babayita bukuumi bwe ye tagenda bakkiriza. Eyo kye bayita security si security ku lulwe kubanga test esooka ebalemye. They failed their first test. N'olwekyo tagenda bakkiriza kubanga babaddewo nga bamutulugunya ne batabeerawo kye bakola. Actually abamu ne beenyigira okumubonyabonya n'omukola ebintu bwe bityo byonna. N'olwekyo ye agambye nti eyo security agigaanye kubanga si security wabula bantu be bamutaddeko okumunyigiriza okugenda mu maaso n'okumubonaabonya. Ensonga ey'okusatu, jo tubadde bakukungaanira wano okulonkinga manifesto yaffe. Nga bwe mwalaba Mwami Museveni, President Museveni Munyonyo bwe yamala okwewandiisa n'agenda Munyonyo n'alonkinga manifesto ye, tetutakanya nayo kubanga agamba nti kati Uganda etuuse ku take off. Ebyo abadde abisuubiza emyaka gino gyonna nga tabituukiriza. Kati ali wano atugamba nti ayagala kusekiwalinga future yaffe, kwegamba obiraba naawe ne bikusobera. Naye naffe tubadde twagala kujja wano tulonkinge manifesto yaffe, nga manifesto yaffe eŋŋombo yaffe egamba a new Uganda oba Uganda empya. ekyo kye tutambulirako. Tetubadde bakukunganira wano okulonkinga manifesto, naye engeri poliisi gye yeeyisiza ne tulemesa okutuuka wano, tusazeewo okugenda mu maaso n'okutongoza manifesto yaffe ku lunaku lwokutaano olwa wiiki eno, era okutongoza okwo kugenda kubeera ku ofiisi yaffe eya Western Uganda eya Mbarara, eri mu Mbarara municipality oba Mbarara town. Tujja kugenda mu kibuga eky'Embarara tutongoze manifesto yaffe, tubulire bannayuganda biki bye twagala okubakolera, era tuli ready. Bagambye mubeere ne meetings z'abantu 7 bokka. Tubuukinze ekifo, tugenda kuteekamu entebe zaffe, tugenda bawa lisiti y'abantu 7 be twagala oyita okubeerawo nga tutongoza manifesto yaffe. Tumanyi nti bano aba NRM tebagoberera amateeka, era mwalaba abantu abaliyo nga balonkinga manifesto yaabwe bali basukka mu bali bantu bangi nnyo, naye kati ffe twagala kye bagambye nti tubeere n'abantu 7 tugenda kubeera nabo, si kuba nti tubikiriza, wabula twagala kulaba nti activity yaffe egenda mu maaso, tulonkinge manifesto yaffe, tutegeeze bannayuganda biki bye tugenda bakolera. Ensonga esembayo kwe kubasaba, kwe kwebaza bannayuganda abavuddeyo gyo ne mu celebrating oba ne mujaguza nga omukulembeze waffe amaze okwewandiisa. Kino abantu nno bakirindiridde ebbanga ddene nnyo, babadde basanyufu era n'ekiro babadde batukubira abantu ab'enjawulo, era nga si mu Uganda wokka wabula ne mu mawanga ag'ebweru abantu babadde n'ebikujjuko nga bajaguza okwewandiisa Honorable Kyagulanyi. Ekyo no kitegeeza abantu abo balina essuubi nti kamaze okwewandiisa kati ekisigaddeyo kulayira. Tekibangawo munnayuganda omwewandiisa kuba president then district zonna oba ebibuga ebikulu byonna mu Uganda abantu ne bajaguza. Ekyo kitegeeza ki? Tulina obuwagizi buli wamu mu Uganda, era kyetugamba nti NUP eri buli wamu, era ndowooza kati ababadde babuusabuusa bakitegedde tuli buli wamu, era aba gavumenti n'amagye ndowooza they are right to be scared kubanga bakirabye kyetusobola okukola eggwanga lyonna. With that, let me now invite the Deputy President in charge of Central Region, and in that order, the Deputy President will follow. Each gives about 3 minutes to address us. I thank you.
Thank you, Comrade SG. My colleagues, Deputy Presidents, colleagues, members of Parliament, members of NUP, the media fraternity. People power.
Our power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to join everyone, everywhere, who joined us in congratulating our president on his nomination yesterday, amidst an attempt by security and deception to hijack our day. It remained our day, and it will go down the annals of history as NUP Day and the Kyagulanyi Day. Nobody's going to change that. We have gotten reports about what happened to our colleagues. You were witnesses that the media has put up. My issue today is to challenge the Election Commission to come out and tell the country whether they are actually in charge. In fact, they have a chance to absolve themselves of any wrongdoing and accusation by stating that they are not in charge. Remember, about a month ago, our premises were invaded, our head office was invaded right here by security operatives. We informed the AC and the custodian of managed by political party about that invasion, actually protested officially to them. They have never visited with us to ascertain the nature of damage. They have never issued a statement about that invasion up to now. And we want to imagine whether they're in complicity with the invaders. The events of yesterday took place right in their premises. In fact, even at Magere, we had a contingent of EC officials. I think to them it was a movie. They don't seem to be enjoying what was happening. So we are inviting them to stay to the country. In a particular Mr. Biabakama, that is not to his smiles. It's about our people, it's about our country. And we're demanding of the commission to come out and state their position. If they need Ugandans to protect them from the NRM operatives, let them declare that they need support. Let them state that things have gone awol for them, and therefore they need our understanding and support. Otherwise, at the moment, if they do not come out, we shall have no choice but to make a declaration as a party as to what we believe the EC is up to, and then Uganda will advise us on the best way of dealing with both the EC and our oppressors. Just like you have declared that we are not cooperating with the security that was given to us. I was physically present by every inch, and these men in uniform were part of the group that broke into the president's vehicle, and they were looking on. In Magere, they looked clueless as to what their duty is. So we shall protect our president. They can be around us for protection. We don't need that. I want to echo that this afternoon. Secondly, countrymen and women. After the nominations, you've heard the statements from the incumbent and his supporters. I want to make it clear today, as the president in charge of the central region, that we are going to reject any attempt by anyone, whether in uniform, non-uniform, or even naked, attempting to hijack our business. We're going to reject anybody attempting. You see, our history as a people and as a country is awash with these rejections. And when we reject them, we know what Ugandans are capable of doing. Our DNA has never been changed as Ugandans. We shall fight for our space. We're not going to allow people in uniform, armed people, to make a decision for us. I want to repeat it. They can kill some of us. They can maim some of us. We are 44 million Ugandans. We shall not allow a small couple of people armed decide our fate. We rejected the overtures of Obote doing so. Amin was thrown out. Lutwa and the co packed their bags. We shall not allow this to happen again in our history. This should be a warning. Mr. President, if you do not want election, please state that you are an eternal leader and we shall deal with you in that sense. Otherwise, can I state that we are not this as a ritual? We are serious about this business. This business is the root. This business is the root. It will cause the change we need, either directly or indirectly. But power will change because Ugandans deserve so and need so. It's about a new Uganda, and we're here to say we are ready to go. Thank you. And I want to encourage all Ugandans out there being intimidated that please shock absorb the intimidation. We shall get there. We have tested the country. We have touched every corner of the country. The country is ready to change. We have been at this. We know we have been. We have tracked the depth of our migration where we are, and there is no doubt we shall cause the change in our time. The change shall happen in our time. I thank you. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
Power.
People power.
Our power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
God bless you.
Uganda. Brief from Uganda.
Okay, in a minute. Yarakulisaayo bannayuganda bonna abeetabye omukolo gw'okuwandiisa kandidate waffe Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu olunaku lwajjo. Ebyabaddewo olunaku lwajjo bye bayita ebikolwa by'abawangule, so tebibayigula ttama. Wali muwanguzi akola byakoleddwa, omuwangule yakola ebyo, n'olwekyo weteeketeekere okunyula abawangule. Ekyokubiri, twagala okusinziira wano okusomooza bannaffe abakulira kyokka ebyokulonda, okubategeeza nti tulondoola ebikolwa byammwe n'engeri gye mweyisaamu. Twagala okubawa amagezi, obanga omulimu gubayinze mwekubira endolo eri bannayuganda balina obusobozi obubataasa ku lubugu. Omulimu guyinza okufuuka eddimo gubataaseeko. Bakubye pulezidenti waffe, ne bakuba tiyagaasi abantu baffe, ne bakuba amasasi mu bantu baffe nga mulaba mu maaso gammwe. Twalowoozezza nti mwaladdemu embavu ezivaayo ne mugamba nti kikyamu. Okufaanako n'obulumbaganyi obwali wano ku kisebe kyaffe, twabawandikira nga twemulugunya na buli kati tebasobololanga bbaasa emuddo mu lululu. Wakiri okukuba essimu okugamba nti kibi nnyo oba okubaako we balabula abaakola ekyo. Twagala kubategeeza nti mwe gunaabalema, bannayuganda bajja kugwekolera basalewo anaabakulembera. N'ekisembayo okuwa amagezi Omwami Museveni ne banno, temulina busobozi bulemesa nkyukakyuka. Enkyukakyuka eringanga lubuto bwe luba lukuze lusobola okuzaalibwa mu mbeera ya bulijjo, maama asobola okulongoosebwa naye lusobola n'okuvaamu nga terunnatuuka. So byonna mubirowoozeeko, temulina busobozi bulemesa nkyukakyuka bwekyo bwe kifaanagana. Tubawa amagezi, oba muyina emmundu, oba muyina tiyagaasi, oba mufaanana mutya, n'enkyukakyuka temusobola giremesa. Ne musobola okwetaba mu kweta enkyukakyuka oba okukyukira mu nkyukakyuka.
People power!
Our power!
Our power!
People power!
NUP!
Everywhere!
And everywhere!
NUP!
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for today. Thank you for yesterday. We are still bashing with the celebrations. The one and only one event that has happened this century, the nomination of our president. I have delivered a number of children because I read the Bible very well. So yesterday was labor pains, but we also got the baby, very beautiful baby. Today, we are here to continue first with that celebration. We should not lose sight of it. Second, to register our resilience, which was supposed to have been crushed yesterday, because the manner in which the tear gas, the live bullets, the batons were used was lethal. I still have the pain on my back, here, and they also tested us. You know, we are resilient. They also tested us. But that's not why we're here. We are here, one, to announce we are moving on and stronger. We are all heading to Barara on Friday.
Yeah.
In big numbers. Two, we are here to say this police yesterday, we actually if we organize like today, and if we anticipated, they knew. I saw their vulnerability. They were begging, who, please, can you do this? They were very disorganized, I saw. Because they are there with their stomach, not with the hands. And people, I saw what it is to work with our stomach. I mean, to work with our hands. They were working with their stomach. They started quarreling among themselves in our very eyes. I saw they are very disorganized. So let's continue to make them disorganized. I thank each one of you. Before I knew it, my leg was bleeding. Somebody just came and, you know, Mama, you are bleeding. Mama, you are bleeding. Gave a first aid and drove. That is how organized we were yesterday. And I thank that person, that team very, very much. I got 3 stitches and I'm moving on. So, I want to applaud each one of you who remained up to the evening. Our Defense Minister. I want to applaud everybody, especially my team in West Nile. You watched us. You have concerns that the speech did not capture West Nile. The speech not only captured West Nile, but West Nile was physically present.
Everywhere.
Andrew, idudu aikoveleri. Amamu manifesto elonzi mbarara. Amamu tere beakuri vele mbarara. Uduto wisi. Amamuki woro akokinga wokoja. Davuti amangata Arua, amangata Moyo, amangata Jumani, amangata Paridria. Ongo atiti bakili. Yesu kanra papi matipe babayo. Emingata Yudea Gulua Arua Mbarara Patazo Mere Amani Tazo State House here. Amotoki ama bisawa mabreni ametikiti tualo akokengo okoda katirani madu okoda retro mateke amataki Aru adiledi ametaki Moyo adiledi amakimu amavile president do amangazinga ibe ngoni amanga Uganda odidi ote ngoni amanga paso ngoni Uganda otokokoko dilingenda ngoni magu West Nile adia mira loki leba actually la wo waneno don wan ba Uganda manyin apoyo rubanga wapoyo won wen mo ayarua won Julius uringu luduka won Samuel Obedigiu and your team wapoyo rubanga tin ninu meneno ni ada Uganda and aloka bedu tie bien wati kitwenywa wati kingo kitwenywa yoleng apoyo mate people power NUP everywhere. Thank you, my sister. People power NUP everywhere. Oh, Rutaro, Garawe, Yangare, Chinunga, stand up and see. Yangare, Chinunga, oh, Rutaro, Yangare, Chinunga, people power, NUP everywhere. It gives me strength, ladies and gentlemen. When I begin my condemnation of the police brutality with that song, and I want to beg Ghana SG and the rest and our president that before every activity we hold from now onwards, we should add it to our national anthem. Just as we did with the women's anthem, after the national anthem, then Orgamba Kurawe comes next. Yeah.
I want to congratulate all of us who believe in change for the nomination of our president yesterday. And I want all of us to clap to the Lord for what he did for the successful nomination, because we were scared. I personally was very, very scared because of the tactics the government was employing. I thought that we would never jump that hurdle. Now that we are on the other side of the Jordan, I want us to thank the Lord so much. I want to thank God for all of you, for some of you who were nominated. I know it was also not easy to have a woman mayor, Lord Mayor, have members of parliament in Western region, in Eastern region. It could have been easier here in Central region, but I want to thank God and congratulate all those who have been able to be nominated, whether LC1, councillors and so on. It is also another hurdle that NUP has done. So praise God for it. I also want to thank God for the life. My colleagues are limping. Some of you have shed blood. Yesterday when we were cramped up here, they locked us in here. There were guns, I don't know, tear gas and others who were in here who were so scared. But I want to congratulate all of us for surviving that day. We could have died, ladies and gentlemen. But now that we are here, we need to thank God that we survived. I want to ask President Museveni. I know now we have members of the press before us, and I know he watches and reads the news. Please, you people, tell him he has decided to become the god of Uganda. Although he knows deep down, I know deep down in his mind, he knows that it's not right, that what he's doing is not right. But he should not waste the time, energy, and emotions of Ugandans. You cannot declare that the country is democratic, and then you start arresting, you start maiming, you start killing people. Any person you see wearing a red belt, that one is as if you have made an abomination, a curse on the street. Please tell him that if he doesn't want us to go into elections, that he can declare himself the right president, and then we shall know how to deal with it. Ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, I know the blood of many Ugandans, the tears of the Ugandans which they are shedding today, the suffering Ugandans are suffering, will nurture our party, our NUP party, and we are going to win this election come 2021 in February. Ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you, Bwana SP, and the members for deciding to have the launch of the manifesto in Mbarara. Yes. Thank you very much. I want to invite all of you. I know we need just 70 people, but I want to invite all of you. 70 will be in the house just for the show. But there is open ground, actually a golf course. We shall put loudspeakers. Go to the golf course and you'll hear the manifesto from there. And therefore I want to invite all of you, the members of the press, the MPs, all of you and all the supporters of NUP, come and support us as we launch this manifesto. They have given it a beautiful name, and I know that from today onwards, we are going to promote a Uganda that is free of corruption, a Uganda that is full of fairness, where all people are the same. Not only where a place where resources are shared by a few individuals, but a place where all of us are Ugandans, a place that will have good hospitals, a state where our children would stop studying from under trees, and if it means all of them sharing scholarships, they all share. Please come and join us so that we can begin a new journey. I am ending with a request that you, the members of the press, to inform the police, because I know they act on the orders of the Greek people up there. But please inform them that they are our brothers and sisters. Some of those guys are even our fathers, our husbands, and so on, our brothers and sisters. Tell them that they don't live on Mars. They live in Uganda. Yes. Yes, they live in Uganda, and the tears of Ugandans will one day overtake them. I thank you very much. Hey. Okay. Omulinyankole ngenda kubebaza mwena ekihabwa ensonga nkishatu. Eyokubanza kureba president witu, President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu AK Bobi Wine. People power! NUP! Kureba ngu hati nobody can stop him from going to the battle. Kino kubasa kumusubira kuzabalo okuba yagize eki ekyakabiri ngenda kubebaza mwena abaarabira omu Karuru aha levels zoona ahabw'ekibiina kiitu ekya NUP. Nasaitingamu bakyaba abadyaha n'omu Western Uganda ngenda kwebaza abantu boona abashemerirwe n'omwebazyo ekyobusaasa ekinaye bagamba omu Lujungu n'okugira ngu our supporters in Kasese, in Mbarara, in Kabare, where the president and the entourage were being maimed and hurt here, they arrested some of those people in those regions. Abantu abo neshaheji bakigwa mu bihome ngenda kutwara okwirobo tubashabire. Those of you have been in contact simu bayana ekyo nakyo nalinkyeraza ekyakashatu n'okugira ngu tulina amagara tukabire tufiire konka mbwenu okutera mukongera amaani. People power, people power. Ekyakana n'okubeeta kugira okwigura narishi okutongoza manifesto y'ekibiina kiitu kya NUP na n'engendererwaho ey'okulonda akalulu kasinga 2021 neza kukorerwa Mbarara aha Rwakataano. Nabwekyo ntwara omugisha ogu kubeeta mwena mwije abantu nshanju ab'amateeka ga Uganda mawe noshangwa endwara ya COVID nitwe kureba twe kandi omuri twe nobody has even died. Not even any of us is even coughing. Praise the Lord. Yes. None of us is coughing kandi bo bari ebyone batwara indi. Except that now the borders are closed and even they are not there. So I want to invite you ngenda kubeta mwena mwishembarara Rwakataano aho emugambwango bagenda kosi bakutenda kakira indaro abantu nshanju nzija kuzomuhoro aha b'amateeka ga COVID konka mwena abagenzi banyu n'abahagizi bitu mwena tuza kwija kukoza ekyegenderwaho y'ekibiina kiitu. Rero turi mu Uganda etarimu bwibi, Uganda etarimu kushorora, Uganda etarimu kuterwa, Uganda etarimu kusheshashagama kureba, Uganda etari ey'okubiiha abanyaruganda kubagira ngu nangwa n'obwakari bwakahasharwo nabe obwo baheza kureeta webale munonga amabalire people power NUP. Yes, be proud. Mutambure gye mukumanya ngu you belong to the party that you are supposed to be proud of. I am
People power. Our power.
People power.
I want to commence with the tweet, and I think let me not withhold my appreciation to Honorable Ake. He has just been taking me through a tweet by none other than the first son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. In the tweet, apart from the intimidatory remarks that he has made, he has insulted and taken the battle personally. He has insulted our flag bearer, National Unity Platform, the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. But I want to get him informed. I know his intelligence gathering is awake. I even don't care whether we are infiltrated, because the rumor doing around has made it to that effect. that even his father, the sitting president, in the 80s, when he attempted to run, which he did anyway, he was despised and dismissed as a passing cloud. And actually, he was actually trounced by his current in-law in Nyabushosi. That information is awash in our history books. ROC has been in power even when he was despised as a passing cloud. He has been in power for the last 3 decades and more. And the Robert Chagulanyi Center, which is unready. It may be in for a shock, and actually, that time is not very far. Secondly, the excesses of the security personnel yesterday must be condemned in the strongest terms possible. And this challenge goes to the Electoral Commission, because the brutality, the maiming that was committed by the security personnel was in the premises of the venue of nomination. And I'm sure in full glare of the officials. And we are waiting to see whether, and by the way, that brutality, the maiming, the bloodshed we saw are a form of terrorism. And the Electoral Commission, we must see them ensuring that these perpetrators of terrorist acts, like those of yesterday, do not go unpunished. But if they do, because I know they are being staged, all these actions, brutal actions, are being staged behind the curtains by the powers that be. And so the perpetrators may go scot-free. We don't have a black book like the Honorable Mogere had one. But we shall not be failed by our memory. Tomorrow is not very far. Those that are committing these acts of terrorism will be held culpable. And those culprits will also be paid in the currency of their wickedness. Lastly, we have been following elections in other countries. It is not lost on me that even in the superpower America, elections are going. Actually, the polls are today. We have been following the campaign trails. They have also been strictly observing standard operating procedures because of the pandemic of COVID-19. But if you compare and contrast, it is only in Uganda where standard operating procedures are being skewed in favor of one of the candidates who was also recently nominated, and none other than the sitting president. We have seen elections all over. We had elections in South Korea, Malawi, here in Africa, so many countries I can mention. But the restrictions of COVID are only being used in Uganda here to nip opposition in the bud. But I must salute your resilience, the people power supporters and promoters, the resilience, the solidarity that you have exhibited. Those I must salute. And pray that since you have also realized that is only a tree with fruits, that we will receive all manner of stones. This is just the beginning. The analogy of a newborn baby is a very good one and spot on. Ours is to massively mobilize the populace, because the populace is more than ready for change. That ours is midwifery to deliver the baby. This action is of the security personnel are intended to discourage us, or rather inviting us to strangle the baby. But the baby has already shown signs of coming out the normal way. We shall not need a cesarean section in delivering this baby. This baby is coming out normally, and the baby, ladies and gentlemen, is alive and well. May God abundantly bless you. People power. Nono basaba mumuli mulafiyo muli mubugisu muli ninjeleka kwe bugisu muli mulafu ilo meli yanesu kuliho iye mubirisi wabu we president wefe we party ya National Unity Platform ingolobe kama sasi yakahupile tiyaga sisi bakutsushiraho ni nese kama kongera nezule tiyaga sini ubona timu nitabese military nakonile meni bule ule huba bambile ona reworo batjakula nyisenta mu mbele bina bamuambile ngo muvi wengo bamubirisa ku bina ekyo kikanyala kyako lika mu mulembe kuno kwezi kulimo kwa 21st century ta ekyo benza ku mulembe kya chafa kilemba sabeni aluluhenywe shale ambebula imube meso mukupile Robert Kyagulanyi Center mu enjile mu bunyalano mu Uganda nuwakira kufuna ishuha ninaswatwanisa ninambo lyepele Uganda bosimba sima mwanyala nabyo kudekera
People power. Our power. NUP. Everywhere. First and foremost, I want to add my voice to the previous speakers to congratulate all Ugandans out there, all seeking change, seeking forces of change, that were able to nominate our own, the Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, and we thank God for that. Most importantly, I want to also congratulate all the young people that this time we have got our own. As a generation, we have got a generational president. And it is upon us to use this opportunity. An opportunity comes once, and we must use it. But also, I want to thank, most especially the young people, being the youth leader in the National Unity Platform. I want to thank the young people for standing up and celebrate the nomination of our president yesterday. I thank you. You really did what we expected out of you. It was wonderful. And I think this is the time where we have to do something better than we did. And not only just to support, not just to tell us that we are supporting you, we are together, but also when such acts happen, we are supposed to rise up in almost all the villages of the country, over the 50,000 villages, and we shall be protecting you. And we must not be worried about what happened, because in such acts of brutalizing us, torturing us, beating us, that's the only way we are going to get change. So, Mr. Museveni and your security personnel you sent to us, if you think that you're just going to put us down, but in such acts, we are going to get change. We are going to have a president of our own this time. And I know that so many young people out there, they are scared. But I want to let them know that the regime, the police, the military, the UPDF, the SFCs, they are more scared, and we have to take them on whether they like it or not. Just like the president told us yesterday, we crossed the book of Lamentations. Now we are opening the book of Acts, and we must act. Yesterday, it was just a teaser. It was just the beginning. Eranga president waffe yagambye tusimbudde sonjo zayoza bannayuganda bonna bonna naddala abo abasinga okwetaaga enkyukakyuka kye twatuseeko olunaku lw'eggulo. Kintu kyabadde ky'amaanyi nnyo, kyabadde kyakabi nnyo mu ggwanga lyonna. Era njagala okubazaamu amaanyi timu ebyo byonna bye mwakoze twasiimye nnyo, temwatuswaziza, twavuddeyo, temwatidde, babadde babatiisa nti teri kuwulira ku pulezidenti wammwe. Mwebale kuvaayo mu bitundu eby'enjawulo ne pulezidenti waffe gy'ataasobodde kubeera, ne muvaayo ne mukola ekyo kye mwakoze eky'amaanyi. Era nga mbasaba okulaba nga tugenda mu maaso. Ky'omulundi oguddako ffenna tuveeyo ebyalo ebisukka mu mitwalo 5 ffenna tuveeyo tuyimirire tulabe nga ebikola ng'ebyakusiddwako olunaku lw'eggulo tebiddamu kubeerawo. Bwe biddamu okubeerawo ffenna tuyimirire nga tuvayo kyalo ku kyalo. Bano abasajja tubasinga obungi kubanga batono nnyo. Singa ffenna tuba tuyimuse tebasobola kutusobola. Tubasinga obungi era tuba tusobola okulaba nga tweddiza obuyinza. Mwenna abatuusiddwako ebisago mulaba byonna nabazze babituusaako okuviira ku bakulembeze ne pulezidenti waffe bamutuusizzaako. Ebyo tebiina kutukanga, tebiina kututiisa kuba mu bikolwa ng'ebyo mwe tugenda okufuna enkyukakyuka, bwe tugenda okulaba nga tujjako omusajja oyo. Ayinza okuba nga yeewaana neyeewaana nti akubye zaake, akubye pulezidenti waffe, akubye abakulembeze bonna, akubye bannayuganda bonna, neyeewaana nti yakikoze. Alina okukimanya nti ate ffe tuba tuwangudde kuba mu bikolwa ng'ebyo singa agenda mu maaso nabyo bannayuganda beeyongera kuba nallo, beeyongera kuba na mutima. Era y'ensonga lwaki nze zaake buli waayongera okunkuba neeyongera kukambuwala na kumulagako nti nja kumutwala. Abali eyo mweyongera kukambuwala. Mwami Museveni wabatalabangako bannayuganda bwe bakambuwala ku mulundi guno obusungu bagenda babuweza babugattako. Era nze nakuwonize nga nkutegezaako obikole, naye nate nkugamba njagala obikole, njagala oddemu otukubire ddala kuba mu bikolwa ng'ebyo byagala okuba ng'okola bye bigenda okutuleetera enkyukakyuka. Kubanga gwolooza nti tubitya nnyo, kyova olaba bannayuganda olwaleero eggulu yatukubye naye n'olwaleero tuvaayo wano era bannayuganda bagenda kuddamu bakole ki? Baveeyo. Kubanga kano akaluke tulimu si kakununa ice cream nedda. Tetuli mu kusaagamu, tuli mu bintu bya ddala. Bino bye tulimu twega tumutegeeze, tulina okulaba nga tukampeininga nga tufuna essanyu. Kubanga kino kye tufunye tetukifunangako, tekibanga nawo, tekituukanga nawo, era tumanyi bulungi nnyo tugenda kulabira ddala nga tukikola, era bannayuganda bagenda kulaba ddala nga beddiza obuyinza bwabwe nga bwe kiteekeddwa okubeera. Mbasaba mwenna abali eyo mukimanye nti Olwokutaano tusimbula tugenda Mbalala. Era nga Ssabawandiisi waffe wabagambye ffe tugenda kugoberera amateeka agamu, tugenda genda enamba gye mwagala. Era tugenda kusimbula tugende ng'abantu 7 mwakoze eki mwagambye. Era tutuukeyo n'Embalala nakyo tukikube tulabe nga abantu baffe bategeera nti NUP eri buli wamu, nti eri everywhere. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala. People power, our power, our power, people power.
Bassebo ne bannyabo bakama bange mu kibiina kano nga mu mutima ffenna tulowooza ku pulezidenti waffe agenda okuwangula aleeta essanyu mu Uganda. Nyiridde wano ng'MP omukyalo wa Kampala okuvumirira okufuula Kampala barakisi ya NRM. Kampala kati n'emiriraano barakisi zonna kati baziggyeyo, zonna ziri wano mu Kampala. Bannakampala tebeewandiisangako kubeera bajaasi, si bapoliisi, ate nga nabo baddembe okubeera nga bali mu Uganda eyaabo. Ekikolwa ekyokuba nti buli bwe tubeera mu kalulu bannakampala babanga abagenda mu lutalo olw'emmundu, bannayuganda tawuni zonna babanga bagenda mu lutalo olw'emmundu. Nze ndowooza kuno kufuuse muzannyo. Electoral Commission nayo bwe yenyumirizaamu. Mujjukire Electoral Commission tennavaayo kuvumirira kutulugunya bantu kati bali mu mikono gyabwe. President Kyagulanyi Robert kati ali mu mikono gya Electoral Commission. Ebisago byonna ebimutuusibwako ku luno Electoral Commission egenda kuvunaanibwa n'abantu ba Electoral Commissioners wamu ne ssentebe singa tebaaveeyo ku protectinga nominated presidential candidates. Era tusaba ti mwami Byabakama, omanyi Kigundu bwe yavaawo ndowooza ye mwami Byabakama alowooza ali mu lutimbe tewali amulaba. Bannayuganda mulekeraawo okubeera nga waliwo be mutiitiibya. Kigundu wano buli muntu yali amusongamu. Byabakama abadde ki? Lwaki temumusongamu? Avaayo ndowooza agenda mu butale, agenda wa, tewali n'amanyi nti y'oyo. Mwetegereze bannamawulire ekifaananyi kya Byabakama mukisembeze ku ntimbe. Kubanga omuntu bw'amanya nti alina obuvunaanyizibwa avaayoko n'agamba kino tekijja kukolebwa nga nze ndi mu ntebe, nga nze ssentebe w'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Ekirala njagala kumaliriza nga ŋŋamba abakyala. Kampala ngikulembedde emyaka ebisanja 3 ate nga kati njagala kukwata mu nkasi. Bino mbyogera nga ŋŋamba bannakampala muveeyo ffe liiso ly'eggwanga. Tetutya kubanga bannaffe bonna mu Uganda batutunuulidde. Bwe tutya ne tudduka abakyala mwe bakazaala baana. Robert Kyagulanyi mwana waffe tukitwale ffenna ng'abakyala. Bwe baba mutulugunya jjukira omwana w'omulenzi oyo eyeeraba mu Kyagulanyi kyawulira. Abakyala tunywere ku nsonga y'okwenyigira mu nkyukakyuka. And I want to reiterate in English, this is a season for everybody. It's not just for the youth, it's also for the women. As a woman MP for Kampala, I condemn and come out in strong terms to ask the Electoral Commission to do its work, not to think that our eyes are closed as brutality and assault is being meted out on our presidential candidate, Robert Kyagulanyi, in the glaring eye of the media, of the public, without any mention by the Electoral Commission. Mr. Byabakama feels he is invisible. And I feel that Ugandans have given him that cover. I want to ask the media to bring the picture of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission so that he feels he's answerable and accountable to the people of Uganda. His predecessor, Kigundu, lamented that the actions of the Electoral Commission were personalized on him as an individual. Why are we treating Mr. Byabakama differently? I think we need to call on him to know that he's in charge, and these candidates who are nominated, especially the presidential candidates, are their security is squarely on his shoulders. Anything happens to our president, I think the court cases should not only be going to the regime, but even individuals in such institutions will be held accountable. Thank you so much. Let's stand firm. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
United. Thank you.
Yeah, we're just going to conclude with the Honorable Betty Namboze. Coming over. The media is okay, we can use
basebo ne bajja kunsaba munsonyiwe kubanga yimiridde nze nandinganga atasobola naye kiva kuba nti natemulwa ate ebiseera ebimu obulumi buno buba bw'amaanyi nnyo, especially when there is coldness or hotness. I want first of all to take this opportunity to thank the Secretary General for organizing this press conference and allowing me for the first time to address the press from the NUP headquarters. We are so grateful for the people who over 3 years worked towards bringing Ugandans together for change. And I'm here to do one little thing. It is a very little thing, but a very important assignment. It must be recalled and appreciated that Ugandans, and I'm talking about the rightful members of society, all of us, led by the principles in different change political organizations, have an obligation to save, to liberate Mr. Yoweri Tumuhabura Museveni from the people who are holding him captive. Unfortunately, Mr. Museveni is the first son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba. I've been making a research to get his Christian name. Maybe you, ladies and gentlemen from the press, know it and will be able to give it to me. What I'm trying to say is that Mr. Museveni's family, especially his son, and I hear at times his wife, are part of the group that is holding Mr. Museveni a captive and imposing him on Ugandans just because they don't want to end the opportunity they have to take over the resources of this country. I'm talking about the general Muhoozi times 2, General Tumwine, all of them generals, you know them. Those people are part of the group which is holding Museveni captive. I'm talking about political entrepreneurs
who serve the mafia groups, running agencies on their behalf, people like Kalangwa in Bukelele, and many others, most of you know by names. I'm talking about people, mafias, who would have been in Luzira by now, but they're out of prison just because they continue to impose Mr. Museveni on us Ugandans. I want to tell fellow activists that it is our role, it is our duty and obligation to disempower this group of people who are holding Museveni captive, liberate Museveni and retire him, and take over our country. Our country will need transition from a dictatorship to a democracy. Some of these people will be jailed, but most of them will benefit from our kind opportunity to take Ugandans through reconciliation and healing. Of particular interest, I want to refer to a tweet on a social media account in the names of Mr. Kaneiru Gaba was warning, promising havoc, intimidating and threatening the NUP principal, Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, also the people's presidential candidate, that is promising him, threatening him, intimidating him, that he was claiming to have capacity to crush Bobby Wine and maybe all of us. First of all, when I saw those tweets, I gave Muoz the benefit of doubt. You see, he has grown up surrounded by friends. He has been taken to the best schools in the world. He's an LOTU who got decorated with it. Amen. We know him. He was recruited as an LOTU in Entebbe. Sometime back, the LOTUs were abolished. I don't know where he kept himself during that period. We have heard also, you see, this gentleman was such a very unlucky boy. You can't imagine having your father pressing you to guard him. In essence, having a father who says that if you want to hurt me, you will first hurt my son. That's not kind of any parent. So he was Museveni's bodyguard, and we don't know under what circumstances he was ready to leave those offices. We also hear rumors, and we don't want to believe them, that one of his problems might be drunkenness. But we don't want to believe that. We also understand that the general of Moses caliber is now the advisor to another general called Mr. Joel Kaguta Museveni. What an upside. It is quite very absurd. If any one of us is placed under responsibility to advise your parents, and you are not advising your father to run your family, but you are advising him to run the country. Mr. Moses, we are also aware that Mr. Museveni, like all human beings, is deteriorating both physically and mentally. It's natural. We can't blame anybody for that. At our home in Wachiso, Namusera there, my father always waits for me to advise him on what to do for the family. But a family is different from a country. The country has advisors who are paid, but Mr. Museveni is not utilizing them. So Mr. Mo's in that capacity, abusing Ugandans and taking us for granted, that he starts tweeting, exposing his delinquency, threatening Ugandans, not any other ordinary Ugandan like Nambozi, but a people's candidate, presidential candidate, who is going to run the office. The Mo's and friends are trying to impose on Mr. Museveni. They fear what might happen to them after Museveni is the president. That is why they are imposing him on this country. They fear to face the law. They fear to face competition. They fear to lose riches. They fear to hand back power to Ugandans and account for the 35 years Mr. Museveni has been in the power. One, I talked to Honorable Robert Chagulani, and he told me that if Muhoozi thinks that when he makes those careless, wisdomless tweets, that Honorable Chagulani will be intimidated. He sends him information that he is not intimidated. Yes. Mr. Mosi, I want to assure you, you will be one of those Ugandans who will be pardoned. We shall allow you to say sorry to Ugandans. We appreciate that you have been young just yesterday and you were exploited by a father who doesn't care about anybody, including his own children. A man who has failed to win off his children. You see, even cocks are better at that. Akakoko wekale mera wali awali mama wako ba segwang bakaboja genda. We don't fear to face Mr. Muhoozi as a competitor. We don't. We also acknowledge that he has a right, like all of us Ugandans, to stand for office. We don't know even why he keeps on posing as if he's an army man, when the fact of the matter is that he's not. He was recruited when some of us were old enough, first of all, to get to know what was taking place, and like a brother Nambesh has told you, that we don't have the black book today, but we believe that we cannot be betrayed by our own memory. You are an LOD, you was. We know that deceitfully, with the deception, you have been decollated a UPDF general. You will lose those titles as soon as we take office. Yes. And we shall recommend you and press you under rehabilitation, you together with other people. You see, in Uganda we have some people who post around as lords. Eh? When they are moving around, you can mistake them for being lords. Today we appreciate that Mr. Museveni is no more. We have another example of what happened in Malawi. In Malawi, a president lost his mental abilities. But he had a secretary, Mama Kasamira, who would get out, change government, appoint, disappoint people. It was after Kamuzu Banda was taken out of power that the country got to know that Banange, you know what? All along we have been dealing with Mama Kasamila. The president has no mental capacity to keep in that office. I'm not saying that Mr. Museveni has retaliated that level, but I believe he's on the way. I said this with great knowledge, because Mr. Museveni is as old as my father. And let me tell you, my father was a very clever man. But these days, he's a baby. At times I get telephone calls in Mukono. Namboze, Jango Ogambe, Otwale Daddy Mutwali, Aganyo Kumire Dagala, Yangwa. So my father at times refuses to take his medicine. He refers most of the very important decisions to me. Equally, Mr. Museveni is going through the same thing. You see, but for me, my father and I are doing this to our one family. But imagine a person who does not want to take medicine anymore being your president. There is that period when we live the opposite of our true self. What we were when we are still young. That period comes to every person who grows old. There are people like me who doesn't fear to say that I'm 51 years. Just because I have accountability for every year I've lived. But Mr. Museveni cannot get out to tell his exact age because he does not have accountability for some of the years he has lived. But for us who know, especially we women, we have the capacity to look at somebody's nose, eyes, and then tell how old you are. And then you're 26. You are 26. 26 years. I'm talking as a mother. In the same, using the same expertise. I know for sure, and many Ugandans know that Mr. Museveni is 80 years. So, winding up, I'm here to tell Mr. Moses that first of all, we who know him as a person who has grown up surrounded by friends, who has gone to the best schools, we didn't believe that he's one man who can be so unwise, so unsophisticated to make such careless tweets. I feel so sorry that a young man in whom Ugandans have invested a lot can turn out with such an imbalanced mental distress as what the yes was this is beyond that. What can you do better? What you are capable of doing better? If you are an army man, that you turned from the LODU to the army, keep quiet like what other army men should do. If you want to be a politician like us, retire from the army, get out of your father's custody, and behave like a grown-up man of 50 years. Once you are 50. Asabo neba nyabo yongera kiwano kulwange nga member atalina kifo kyonna kya bukulembeze mu NUP era nyumirwa ennyo eddaala lyange eryo kubanga kizaitayimu naffe abamu batukulembereku naffe abamu batukoleki batukulembereku kale nyimiridde wano nga memba owa bulijjo waliwo abantu abaŋŋamba nti wakagenda mu NUP ne mbagamba muyige okumanya ebintu so omu ku bamemba ba NUP abagundi omu ku bakadde abagiruddemu ennyo kubanga olunaku lwe basooka ofulumya kaadi wano ewe nafuna eyange so nyimiridde wano mu kiki ekyo ekya memba atalina nnyo obuvunanyizibwa okujjako the interim ayambako mwami vice president wa Buganda okutwala ziri districts eziri mu Eastern Buganda Mukono Kayunga Buyikwe and Buvuma okutumira mwannyinaze gwensingako omwaka gumu gwokka mu nsi muno Muhoozi ebyataano mu gumu yali ataano okumugamba nti akomye mangu okweteeka mu butaala n'agenda n'akemebwa okubaawo kwa social media n'atandika okuweereza obubaka obutiisatiisa obuvvoola era obulengeza bannayuganda omu ku bo Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu akikomye. Tumanyi Muhoozi ng'Owero DU waffe eyalondebwa abeero si wano Entebbe agenda asoma Owero DU asobole okuddayo okukuuma ekyalo. Era oyo Owero DU waffe tulina ennaku nnyingi kyekifo ky'okumutendeka ne tumuddizayo bakama be Chairman Owero si wano ne Secretary for Defense ab'Entebbe wali ewaabwe mu Kitoolo. Mwami Museveni yayita mu mugenzi Gaddafi najja mutikkira obwa mmeeja. Ekyo kikolwa kyali kyakusala nsawo. Teriyo Owero DU mulala gwe twali tuwulidde ng'afuuse jjeno w'amagye. Kyova olaba ng'ekimu ku bintu bye tujja okukola nga twakatwala obuyinza kwe kuwonya Muhoozi tumuggyeko ebyo ebitiibwa ebya genero bye bamukakaatikako. Twagala era kusaba mwami Museveni ayiga okuggya abaana be ku mabeere. Abaana bwe bakula baba bakuze. Mwami Muhoozi musajja mukulu ddala singa yayanguwa okuzaala nga Kyagulanyi naye kati alina omwana ali okumpi okuwasa. Yes, at 50 osobola okuba n'omwana w'emyaka 2. Kati tumugamba ebintu ebyo byalimu abivemu taddamu okuweereza obubaka taddamu kukemebwa sosonkereza bannayuganda. Alina ebyokulabirako ebimala. Amanyi baganda be abaana ba Gaddafi gye bayitamu. Amanyi baganda be abaana ba Saddam Hussein gye bayitamu. Amanyi baganda be Kapiteeni Kongolo omwana wa Mobutu bamuziika ayimiridde. Nono oli kitaawe yamukomya ku bwa kapiteeni naye n'atandika okulowooza nti naye pulezidenti mu bwangu ddala bannayuganda bonna abagala enkyukakyuka ne ba activist ffenna tulina okukolera awamu tununule mwami Museveni okuva mu mikono gy'abantu abamuwambi. Abantu abo mulimu bamafiya, mulimu abalwaninga bizinesi z'abamafias, waliwo omusajja omukusomako ng'afuna obujulizi tumanyi bamuyita Muhammad Alibai ng'alina ebyapa by'ettaka 700 mu Kampala. Kati omuntu alina ebyapa by'ettaka 700 mu Kampala tayagala Museveni aveeko kuba amanyi bannayuganda abaddako bagenda mugamba ettaka lino walijjamu. Abo abantu abasibye mwami Museveni mu buyinza abamukozesa okunyagulula eggwanga lyaffe. Mwami Museveni wamma totya tujja okukununula mikono gy'abakuwa. Twagala Pulezidenti Museveni agenda awummuleko lwakitula tuteeseteese okussawo akakiiko k'okutabagana n'okwogera amazima eri bannayuganda era nga tumanyi nti abantu abali mu famire ya mwami Museveni, abantu abamu abafunye obugagga mu ngeri ey'amankyolo n'abantu abalala abalowooza nti baliko ebikolobero bye bakoze nga batya Museveni ova mu buyinza, akakiiko ako ke bajja okweyamba okwetondera bannayuganda n'okusonyiwibwa. N'olwekyo twagala batuwe eddembe lyaffe. Ekisembayo, Mwozi oli musajja ate toli wa magye, oli weero oli wa ddembe, olina eddembe ly'obuzaaliranwa, ddembe lyo okuvaayo ne weesimbawo ku kifo kyonna mu ggwanga nga otwaliddemu n'ekyakitaawo kyalemeddemu ekyobwa pulezidenti. Era ffe tetugenda kunyiiga wadde okutya okubeera mu kalulu konna nga mwami Muhoozi oba asimbiddwawo NRM ng'asaba obwa pulezidenti bwaki tumulinze mu butuufu. Olwaleero mbadde njogeramu ne Honorable Kyagulanyi n'agamba nti yeesunga okulaba ku mazima agasaanidde ng'avuganya ne mwami Muhoozi, nga Muhoozi asaba bwa pulezidenti nga ne Kyagulanyi asaba bwaki bwa pulezidenti. Naye ebyo ebyokulowooza nti ojja kwesiba ku kirenge kya kitaawo, atoddeeyo gye weesibidde ku kirenge kya kitaawo emmanju ku police quarter ku State House, ate otandike okutinkuula entalo ku bannayuganda n'okuba olwogolo, ekyo tetujja kukikkiriza Muhoozi. Sembayo nga ntegeeza bannayuganda nti akalulu ko tekaliyo, kali folosi. Mr. Byabakama is organizing a follow election, but we are going to show him that we have capacity to turn a follow election into a liberation tool, and to accept the same thing to this chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Betty Namboze. I think I don't have anything useful to add to that, except to now invite Comrade Derek, who is going to give us a closing prayer. Let us all stand up and have a closing prayer.